Hello and welcome to the thought for the day. The news coverage about all of the wildfires all over the world has never been so dismal, has it? What makes it worse is that in some of the cases it would seem that the fires have been started deliberately. Damage has been caused to homes and to habitats. People and animals have been killed, and the lack of rainfall has not helped. We are told that this is caused by climate change and the increase in temperatures across the world. We've certainly seen that here in mid Wales, and with only the very occasional short shower, that has not really made a difference. But all of this does make a difference to our lives. We are not used to such heat, and the land that provides food is not coping well either. It would appear that the lack of concern many people have for our planet is not new, as I came across a story recently which is the retelling of a traditional one, so it stretches back over the years. It's called The Perfect Globe, and I'd like to read it to you now. In a museum many ages ago, there was an amazing exhibit. It was a tiny globe, just a few feet in diameter, yet it held so much mystery and so much beauty within it that people travelled for miles and miles just to see it. There were always crowds around it and queues lined up, patiently waiting for their turn to view the wonder. And there it was, a delicate sphere floating in its case. It looked different from every angle. Sometimes you could see big pools of water in it, and smaller flows of water feeding into the big pools. Sometimes these pools were smooth and blue, and at other times they were white with froth and full of movement. There were bumps on the globe, some big bumps with white tops, and some smaller, gentler bumps. You could have run your fingers over the bumps, feeling the sharp spikes on some of them and the velvety textures of the others. The globe had little sandpits in it, with lovely patterns blown by the wind, which changed every day. And it had frosty places too, which burned your fingers with the cold if you touched them. And it danced in the space around it, turning on its toes, so every part of it got a turn at face in the light and at resting in the darkness. People marvelled at the thin layer of gas that surrounded this little globe, and noticed that there were holes in it, and that these holes seemed to be getting bigger. They were concerned in case something was going wrong with it, and sometimes parts of it would go dark for no apparent reason, and there might be smoke and a strange smell from those parts, and the people didn't know why, and they were concerned, because these dark bits never quite seemed to get better again afterwards. Perhaps most of all, though, people gasped in wonder at the tiny creatures that lived on the globe. Some lived in the pools, and some lived just under the glass wrapping, and others lived on the bumps. The globe was declared a national treasure, and people paid large sums of money to make sure that it was protected. It had become so precious to them that they would have defended it with their own lives. They would never let anyone hurt it. It came to be known as the greatest wonder of all time, and people flocked to see it, to touch it, and to love it. They felt that just to be in touch with it would bring them healing, and just to gaze at it deeply would bring them wisdom. They even felt that without it their own lives would be meaningless. That was all a long time ago. The treasure has fallen into disrepair now. Some say that the rot set in when the people who used to treasure the globe started to shrivel and shrink because they were so wrapped up in less important matters. The people eventually got so small that they disappeared right inside the globe, and after that they never noticed it again, and they completely forgot how they had once treasured and loved it. With no one to treasure it, the globe slowly stopped breathing, and eventually it slipped away into space, unregarded. And so I feel that we all need to redouble our efforts if we are to help our planet and God's creation to survive. Well, until the next time, thank you for listening. Bye.